All right, great pleasure. We now bring in House Majority Leader, Mr. Steve Scalise, from the great state of Louisiana. Steve, welcome. Thank you very much. So, the first question I want to ask you: you're all set for a vote to pass the continuing resolution this evening. Is that the case?
Yes, it is. And thanks for having me back, Larry. We're going to bring up the bill probably around 7 o'clock tonight. I'm confident it'll pass, even though Democrats are still playing games. They still want to keep the government shut down and inflict pain on millions of people. But we're going to be able to put a coalition together and get this done.
217 votes. That's what our reporter suggested. Is that what we're looking for?
That's the magic number.
All right. No, that's great. Steve, I got to say this. I mean, you can say whatever you like, for heaven's sakes. I think Schumer and all of them, Schumer and his pack of socialists and whomever, Hakeem, this is not about health care. This is not about Obamacare. This is about sabotaging Donald Trump. This is Trump derangement syndrome. This is about stopping the stock market rally. This is about stopping the Trump boom, which is already running at 4%. That's the way I see that, black and white. Honest to God, I don't think it had a thing to do with policy. It's all about anti-Trump, which is all that crowd has. What does Steve Scalise think about that point of view?
Well, as always, Larry Kudlow has hit the nail on the head. And, you know, you're spot on. Really, you can go back to the election. They're still, it's not them really, it's their base. The base of the Democrat Party, the Mondami wing of the party that has taken over. They are still furious with Donald Trump winning the election. So they don't want Democrats to cooperate with Trump on anything. When we did the one bill, big, beautiful bill, you and I talked about it a lot, we knew it was going to be Republicans only that kept tax rates low, that did no tax on tips and overtime, that did more energy production to lower energy costs, to secure the border. All of that was done with Republican-only votes because Democrats walked away. We knew a shutdown was happening, not because of any policy disagreement, like you said, but just because they are still having a tantrum over the results of the election with the American people. They're mad at the American people, Larry. And frankly, I think the American people are disgusted by today's Democrat Party.
I mean, I think they're making a big mistake the longer this thing went on. Big, big mistake. I don't care what these public polls show. I don't give a darn about that. It made a big mistake, and they're going to pay for it heavily. Now, I got some fun things for you, and I love to talk about drill, baby, drill, and oil. We have for so many years on this program. So, you know, Mr. Trump's now touting lower gasoline. So we looked at it. I went to the AAA page, and it turns out 28 states, okay, 28 states have gasoline prices under $3, right? It's got a 2 handle on it. And the average for those 28 states is $2.80 or something close to that. Yes, $2.80 for those states. I mean, that's terrific stuff. We're all back under $3, and you got open market oil is what, about $60? Gasoline prices are going to bring down the consumer price index because energy is such a huge component. This is the stuff that the Democrats are green with envy, pardon the phrase. They don't know what to do about these successes.
And of course, the Democrats fought everything Donald Trump did to open up American energy, from Anwar up in Alaska down to the Gulf of America. You know, we're mandating lease sales again when Joe Biden shut down the Gulf of America. All of that is lowering the cost of gasoline at the pump. It's also, of course, having an effect on everything else you buy. It's lowering the cost of other products. You go to the grocery store, prices are lower there because energy costs are lower. And Democrats are still fighting all of this just because they hate Trump. And I think the American people are sick of it. If you're in California right now paying $5 a gallon or more, you know, thank Gavin Newsom and those policies.
Yeah, sure.
That's what Kathy Hochul's delivering in New York, by the way. It's not too late to leave. But if they ruin America, there's nowhere else to go. And that's what's so important about the election next year. They're ruining all these deep blue states. And people are moving. People are going to red states. They're enjoying a happier life. If they ruin America, there's nowhere else to go. There's no plan B.
You know, you can talk about affordability. I don't deny that affordability is an issue. But I do want to say, with good marketing and communications, Steve Scalise, look, wages are rising well above inflation right now. We did the numbers. I checked with Kevin Hassett. from the NEC. Wages are rising at 4.1%. These are average wages across the country. The inflation rate for Mr. Trump, first 9 months, 2.5% CPI. That gives you a positive take-home pay of 1.5%, 1.6%. In numbers, Steve, dollars, okay? During the Biden years, take-home pay went down $3,300. They lost $3,300 in Biden's 4 years. So far, in 9 months, they've recouped $1,200. So that's not the whole end of it, but it's a good beginning. And I just think you all have to, communicate that, market that. The big tax refunds are coming, as you know, January 1st, maybe a couple $100 billion, and people are working. So I just think if you get it out, the tide turns, and the booming economy and the record stock market will work for you next year in the midterms.
Yeah, there's more work we have to do, of course, but there are really positive signs that are, I think, boding well for a really good 2026 economic recovery. You're seeing growth already pick up. If you talk about things like no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, many people won't see the big benefit of that until they file their return in April of 2026. So you'll get a $1,500, $2,000 check back from the federal government for all of those taxes you paid in 2025. That money's going to come back to you. And then that's going to be a windfall that hits people, on top of the fact that we're going to see more investment coming into the economy. And then, of course, we get out of the government shutdown. Clearly, that slowed segments of the economy down, self-imposed by Democrats, as you said, to try to slow down Trump's momentum and progress. But we're going to get that back on track.
Yes, we will. We'll get all that back. Sabotage never really works. The good guys always win. Anyway,
They do.
Mr. House Leader Steve Scalise, thank you ever so much. We appreciate it very, very much.
Always great being with you, Larry.
All right.